His frugalness apparently made him unliked by some and became a point of contention with his daughter Lizzie later on.
Wait. She hacked him up because he wouldn't get plumbing.
We don't know if she...
No, I'm not blaming her. I'm kind of agreeing with her.
I don't want to go out in the outhouse and there's crap in a hole.
Yeah.
There's like spiders in there and like...
Oh, yeah, no. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Mysterious Pals. My name is Chris, and with me tonight, the Sultan of the Ragtime. His name's Jordan. Jordan, welcome back, baby.
Good to be here, baby cakes. Pumpkin.
What do you got today for us? We're going to talk about some scary stuff here in the show. Thank you for joining us. We're going to jump right in with something spooky. I think I'm not sure what it is.
Pretty spooky, yeah.
The mystery, nonetheless. Jordan.
Well, I'm so glad you axed, Chris.
Who? Wait, what?
I'm so glad you axed.
Oh, like an axe.
Bingo bango. This week we're going to start off with a little nursery rhyme. Is that nice?
I don't know.
Is that nice?
Aren't nursery rhymes all like about Evil Dead stuff?
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready for this? It's a quick one. The nursery rhyme.
Okay.
Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. You ever hear that before?
I heard always something about Lizzie Borden, but it was from The Simpsons, and it was a Treehouse of Horrors, and Millhouse dressed up as...
Forgot about that.
He's like, 40 whacks of the wet noodle, Bart. I think that's what he said.
Is that what he said? The wet noodle?
Yeah, I think that's what he said. So Lizzie Borden this week.
Lizzie Borden.
Is that a mystery? There's like, she murdered people, right?
Yeah, but there's like speculation whether she did or didn't actually do it.
This is hot off the presses.
Never been done before.
Yeah. Lizzie Borden.
Lizzie Borden. On August 4th, 1892, in Fall River, Massachusetts, United States, Andrew and Abby Borden were brutally murdered at home in the early afternoon. The prime suspect, who was put on trial and eventually acquitted, was her daughter, Lizzie. This is one of America's most prolific murders.
Yeah, what year was this?
1892.
1892? Isn't that when...
Sailed the ocean blue?
Yeah, isn't that when Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue?
400 years earlier.
1492?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 1776 or something. 1492? No, is that nursery rhyme too?
Yeah, 1492.
Okay.
I was like, wait
Nina
a second.
Pinta
Am I
Santa
wrong?
Maria?
Am I wrong about this? Yeah, 1492.
Was that the Nina Pinta Santa Maria?
Yeah, I think apparently one of those ships weren't actually named that, though.
Was that the Pilgrims? What did the Pilgrims come over? They came over on the Plymouth Rock.
Yeah. That was like six.
On the Plymouth Rock?
Yeah, they floated on a rock.
Oh, no, was the boat called the Plymouth Rock?
No.
Okay. What did they sail over on?
Some ships.
Okay. Why did they come over?
Why did they come over? They were trying to escape religious persecution.
Okay. Well, good for them.
Well, this week we're going to hack away at this case to see if Lizzie really did commit murder.
Thank you, everybody. Good night. That's it.
We're see
done.
You.
Hack away. What the? So the whole episode is, or the whole question here is, did Lizzie actually chop up her parents?
Yeah.
How old was Lizzie?
He was 32 when this happened.
What? No.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they always portray her as like a little kid?
I don't know. I never actually. What do you mean? Why they always portray her as a little kid?
Like whenever you hear about the story, it's like they always say like always gives the thing that like she's like was a child.
Well, I don't know. I do know that some people are like, oh, she's a woman.
That means she can't do anything now.
Possibly couldn't do this.
But she must have been a child then.
That comes up later, yeah.
Wait, so she was 32 years old?
32 years old, yeah.
First off, what's she still doing at home? She's almost dead. 32 in 1892? That was like 76 now.
I mean, her dad was like, I think 70.
Well, he was almost, I mean, what's the difference? What are we arguing here? She probably did or she did. She's doing
did
him a favor.
Yeah. Maybe she did or someone else did him a favor.
What the hell?
So let's go a little bit.
32? What's she
Yeah.
still doing living at home?
So that's another thing too. Like her older sister was living at home too, and her older sister was like 41, I think.
Wait. Now, I'm not saying this because I think you have to move out and whatever. Like, at this day and time, like I'm talking about in 1892, the way society was.
Yeah, they would have
you're
already married off. Yeah,
at 16, and you're like having kids by
it wouldn't
20.
be that young, but yeah, you're already gone out of the house.
Yeah.
So that comes up a little bit later. We might as well just say it now. So I guess.
Well, I also want to say this: stay home as long as you can't. Bleed those parents dry,
Yeah.
because living
Especially
not at home
for free.
sucks.
I did that for a long time.
Hell yeah. You bleed them dry.
Thanks, Dad.
Anyway, so she was.
That comes up because, like you said, they should have already been married. Should have already started a life, had kids. That was kind of the thing back then. But apparently, every suitor she might have had
was hacked up by an axe.
was not good enough, according to her father.
Okay.
Let's go to the family background. Andrew Jackson Borden, this is the father. He came from a wealthy family. By the time of the murders, his family owned a majority of Fall River. This is where they lived and this all happened. His family was very wealthy. They already owned much of this area.
Were they grocers?
No.
Because apparently a lot of people get hacked up by because of grocers.
What was that? Was that the Axeman of New Orleans? Yeah.
Yeah. Episode.
Whatever.
In the past. Axeman of New Orleans.
Yeah.
Another axe murdering thing.
Despite coming from a wealthy family, he was raised modestly. This is Andrew, the father. In fact, when he came into his own, became somewhat wealthy in his own right, he continued to live modestly and was known to be frugal.
So wait, how did they make money? He said they owned a town.
They owned, so a lot of it was textile mills.
Okay. Oh, that'll do you.
Yeah. So he's frugal. So much so he never updated his home to have indoor plumbing or electricity.
Oh, God.
His frugalness apparently made him unliked by some and became a point of contention with his daughter Lizzie later on.
Wait. She hacked him up because he wouldn't get plumbing.
We don't know if she.
No, I'm not blaming her. I'm kind of agreeing.
I don't
want
to go out in the outhouse and there's crap in a hole.
Yeah.
There's spiders in there and
Oh, yeah, no.
Andrew started out as a carpenter. The guy who did his own, not necessarily like a made man, but he started as a apprentice as a carpenter. He eventually established an undertaker business and provided cheap, affordable caskets.
Whoa, really?
The irony of that.
That's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a really good idea.
Yeah.
Back then, nowadays, it's probably way more difficult.
He later grew into wealth through property development and became the director of several textile mills in Fall River. Fall River became very affluent for some with the rise of the textile mills, and this reflected the rest of America.
Textiles
was huge.
Yeah. Is that another thing that was like a giant industry that crashed? Okay.
I don't know if it crashed, but it definitely didn't.
Probably got more.
It wasn't sustainable.
Because it probably got more efficient.
Yeah.
Less people needed.
Yep. So this is during the Gilded Age when industrial growth boomed and there was a mass economic growth in the U.S., but also growth and disparity between the wealthy and everyone else. In fact, there was a part of town called the Hill where the wealthiest lived.
And there's a hill in every town.
Yeah.
We have a hill in our city.
It's you see it and you're just you kind of look at it. You
call it the hill.
Yeah. You're you in case of Lizzie, her rest of her family, her dad's side of the family lived up there. And she was look at it. Someday I want to live up there.
Someday I want to hack those people apart with an axe because they probably have toilets.
Yeah. So the fact that they didn't live on the hill with the rest of Andrew's family was another point of contention being Lizzie's father. Andrew, during his own growth and wealth, married Sarah Anthony Morse on December 25th, 1845.
That was Lizzie's mom.
Sarah. But remember, Andrew was killed with his wife, Abby.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The little hound dog.
So Sarah
knocking boots.
and Andrew would go and have 3 children. Emma Lenora in 1851, Alice Esther in 1856, and Lizzie in 1860. That's a pretty big jump. 51 to 56, and then 56 to 60.
51 to 56.
And 56 to 60.
That's not that bad. I mean, your family's a lot closer together.
Yeah.
But I'm not.
That's
my
true,
family's 6 years. And 9 years.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
With my brother. Yeah. So, not that big a deal, dog. Maybe you're just a weirdo. I mean, my dad's one of 9.
Yeah.
When he was born, his oldest brother was at war.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
in Korea or something.
That's the thing. Like, then weren't people just pumping out kids back then?
I mean, you had to. How would you get anything done?
Unfortunately, though, Alice died from hydrocephalus.
Wait. Hydro what?
Cephalus, I
Is that
think?
why they didn't have indoor plumbing? Because there's something hydro.
Well, it was too much fluid in the brain, apparently.
Oh,
She's just shy of turning 2.
okay.
But that was before Lizzie was even born. So there's
The
this
hydrocephalitis.
hydrocephalus, I want to say.
Okay. Okay.
And doubling down on the unfortunate events, Sarah went on to die in 1863 from uterine congestion and spinal disease at the age of 39. At this point, Lizzie was 2.5 years old and Emma was 12. Emma made a promise to her mother that she'd always look after Lizzie.
Okay. That's why she didn't leave?
Hmm.
Okay.
But, I mean, that could be...
Is this like an evil stepmother story?
So that's what a lot of people said. Like, the stepmother, like, they got, at least within the newspapers, again, like, I think this is around yellow journalism. Is this kind of when it started? Because we thought it was
that's when
much
the
before.
airships were around this time.
Yeah. So they sensationalized a lot of stuff. So maybe I think, at least in the media, and a lot of people bought into this, was that the mom was seen as like evil stepmother kind of situation.
Yeah. It sounds exactly what it is. It's like a Disney movie.
And so the older sister was like, I'll protect Lizzie. That could mean certain implications as well.
Ooh, the tangled web.
Andrew would eventually marry in 1865 to Abby Durfee. Abby Gray. I'll just say Abby Gray.
Okay.
I think it was only 3 years later after the mom died.
Man, it's 3 years. Plus, he's a wealthy guy. I'm sure people were knocking down his door.
Of course, yeah. The sisters would live with their father and stepmother well into adulthood. The four all lived in a 3-story house along with a 26-year-old family servant, Bridget Maggie Sullivan, who was an Irish immigrant.
And no one had toilets or electricity.
In the house, no.
What is going on?
Lizzie was 32 when her parents were murdered. Emma was 41. They had an Irish immigrant servant. And this is kind of like a weird, I don't want to say weird thing, but like, I'll go into this later because we've talked about this a bunch before when like immigration was happening. Various times throughout history, and especially in the United States, we talked about this. How some of these people were looked down upon and like lesser than.
Immigrants, you mean, or like the Irish? Specifically?
Irish immigrants, and we've talked about other classes of people.
Italian,
and,
like,
yeah.
So basically, just anybody that was British and white was cool, up pretty much.
Well, I mean,
in these stories,
that's the thing though, because like here, like they're like, oh, we're natives, but like
you're not.
You're not exactly.
No,
yeah,
you're the immigrant,
right? And this becomes an issue later on with Italians and Polish people.
Today.
Yes. It's kind of weird that this keeps coming up in history.
People don't like change.
Right. Yes.
Especially whenever it could threaten them.
Yes. And this is the case definitely with a bunch of the Irish immigrants that were coming in because they got blamed for a lot of stuff. Lizzie was very active in the temperance union. This is the whole movement where people thought that alcoholism was destroying the family home, made people immoral.
Oh,
Irish kind of got like.
Is that where that whole thing comes from?
Maybe, yeah.
So
which led to like the prohibition.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask.
Yeah, so she's involved in that. She's very involved in her church. She was a Protestant, and she was actually a Sunday school teacher. So she seemed like a person of good standing. Emma, on the other hand, did none of these things, and she rarely left the house.
You know, there was a 2014 movie with Christina Ricci.
Yeah, I saw that when I was
Lizzie Borden
took
never
an
axe.
She's great.
I was a big fan of her back when
Casper.
Yeah, God, is that it? Is that it for our kids? Like people our age? That was the stepping stone.
Yeah, and then Casper. Yeah, not so much in maybe Adam's Family. She didn't do it for me, Adam's Family, because that was weird.
That was earlier.
Yeah,
it was Casper.
Oh, man,
because it was that right age of like where we were like that age. She was like our pretty much same age.
It's been said that Emma and Lizzie never liked their stepmother, Abby, this evil stepmother kind of thing. So much so they wouldn't eat meals with her and only referred to her as Mrs. Borden, not Mom.
Oh, why would you call her Mom? She's not your mom. I mean, they probably were still pretty, upset about the mom dying. Like,
sure.
Their dad remarrying.
Yeah, but at this point, they've been living with her. So Lizzie was 2.5. Emma was 12 when the mom died. Married 3 years later.
5.
Yes, they married 3 years later. So they've been with this woman for 30-something years at this point.
With that lady longer than she was with her mom.
Yeah. So you think at some point they've been like, Mom, maybe.
or at least by a first name.
Right, they did call her Mrs. Borden.
Maybe she sucked. Maybe she was just like a
That's-
terrible.
That's the thing. So
person.
I've seen conflicting things. Either like she actually was a cold.
Like the mom from So White.
Yeah.
Snow White.
Other people had said like she's actually probably the nicest person in the whole household. Like she's actually like warm and like outgoing and kind. It's kind of
as soon as the door shuts, she smacks him in the face.
It's a lot of that's a lot of those he said she said kind of things. This will be an ongoing theme throughout this. Furthermore, it's also been said that Emma and Lizzie were worried that Abby and her family were looking to take their father's money. This was evident when Andrew gifted Abby and her sister, Abby's sister, a nice chunk of his real estate. I guess Lizzie and Emma are upset by that because they're like, one, like, don't help his family out.
They're giving away their money.
Also, that's our inheritance.
Yeah, they're giving it away to someone that's not directly like
right.
Her family. They probably think the whole family's trying to get their money.
Yes, that became a kind of an ongoing thing here. In July of 1892, as a result of a family argument, assuming it had probably something to do with Abby, Lizzie and Emma left Fall River and vacationed in New Bedford, Massachusetts, which is 14 miles away. They would return a week later before the murders, but Lizzie didn't return home right away.
Why didn't she?
Instead, she stayed at a hotel for 4 days, then returned to the house.
Girl, bring her axe.
So, all right. So, as of right now, what do you think's going on?
About money. It's always about money. Lizzie and her sister were like...
Do you think they both had something to do with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they were both like, hey, those bitches are stealing our money and they think they're getting dad's money. They can go to hell. And it's probably one of those things like the Mean Girls movie.
Mean Girls movie?
Well, they didn't murder, but they just like, they didn't murder in the movie.
They made that book.
Yeah, they probably burn booked her mom, Abby. But I think,
the mom nor the dad can defend themselves. So it's like, it's all only they're saying, like, possibly what they're saying is like she was a bad woman. She's trying to take her money, take advantage of her father. But like, what would the mom Abby would have said like about the girls? Maybe she's like, they're lazy. They don't.
She probably was. Was it one of those things where like, I bet you she's telling dad to give away the money so we don't get it, type of thing.
Yeah, maybe.
Or I mean, they're in their 30s and 40s. Maybe they're probably like, hey, stop giving them money so they leave.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
They're in their 30s and 40s. Maybe they left because Abby and their dad was like, dude,
get out.
You guys got to the end of the month to find a place to get the hell out of here. Yeah. And Abby was like, yes, you do, lady. And then ladies. And then that probably set it off. And then they probably went away.
Yeah. But apparently, though, like no suitor for Lizzie was well liked by her dad.
Well, I don't think that really matters.
So like, why would he say get out of the house?
Because Abby was probably like, hey, what was his name again?
Andrew.
Hey, Andrew.
Like, no one was good enough
Andy,
for
can you
Andy,
get them the hell out of the house?
It's been 30 years.
Yeah, they're in their 30s and 40s. And, he probably, he can not like any guy that's going after his daughters.
Right.
Okay, there's two things that happen. I totally believe both of these could be true. The girls murdered them with axes because they didn't want their money getting given away. And they're already, they're in their 70s doing them a favor. They're probably like, well, I don't want to take care of them.
Yeah, I think the mom or the stepmom was in her 60s. The dad was like 7.
Yeah, because if maybe their dad was like gonna die soon. Maybe he was like that's what I'm saying. Like maybe he was sick.
Put him out of his misery.
Yeah.
So she chopped him in the face.
No, I'm saying maybe the stepdad or the dad was, like maybe he was sick and they're like, he's gonna die soon. And if he dies first, Abby's gonna get all his money. But if we kill Abby, get her out of the picture, when he dies, we get everything. So they go kill Abby, but he walks in, they're like, damn it, and I have to chop his face off. And that's where the whole thing came from.
I think that's one of the theories is like they didn't like her. They thought her and her family were going to take the money from them or just taking advantage of their dad. Plus, they lose their inheritance. So that's maybe somebody, her, Emma, or both of them lost it and just like chopped the stepmom up.
You ever see?
But why would the dad be dead then?
You ever see Matilda?
Yeah.
That's what happened to Matilda with the teacher.
Her parents got murdered by
the teacher.
Oh, yep.
Her dad died, and they found out, Mrs. Trunchbull did it. But like she got everything because the girl was underage.
Yeah.
And then she kept everything. So like the same type of situation. But here's the other thing. Or this really was just a random act. Maybe someone got fired from the factory, or someone wanted money or was looking for money, came in, murdered them.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up, Chris, because that will be coming up very shortly.
Yeah. See, again, say this every episode. Big Daddy can solve all these problems. I'm like that.
Send him back in time.
Yeah, I'm like the guy on the telephone booth we talked about recently. Captain Marvel or Captain
Bill and Ted. Oh no, Doctor Who.
Yeah, Doctor Who. That guy. But I'm like better looking. I don't know.
Yeah,
I never seen it.
Never seen it.
Probably better looking. Wait, was Benedict Cumberbatch one of those guys?
I think he was. Yeah.
Oh, better looking.
Yeah, this show's been on since like
he's just taller than me.
50s or 60s. There's been a bunch of them.
Oh God, that sounds terrible.
I think there's a woman one now.
Okay, maybe I'm not the hottest one. I don't know what she looks like.
As I said earlier, Lizzie was the one who was eventually arrested for this. But she was the one who was involved in the community and was seen as upstanding. Emma was not involved, and there's a whole thing where she promised her mom she'd always look after Lizzie.
You think Lizzie was arrested? I mean, how did they arrest her? Why did they arrest both of them? How did they figure it was her? How did the cops going to be like, it was her?
Yeah.
What was she like, cleaning an axe? And they were like, oh, it's probably her.
Actually, there's like, I don't know, like, I mean, you probably know the story, but like going through this, I was like, are you kidding me? How do you not guys realize he probably did this? But
probably can't prove it.
Yeah, well, that's the big thing that comes up. Several days before the murders, the Borden household became violently ill. Some thought it was just food poisoning, while Abby feared it was actual poison because her husband Andrew was not very well liked by some people. Apparently, Emma was gone again. I've seen conflicting things where, like I said earlier, Lizzie and Emma left. They came back. Lizzie stayed in a hotel for 4 nights, but Emma's gone again. So she calls a doctor, Dr. Seabury Bowen, to the residence on August 3rd. Again, this is the day before the murders. Dr. Bowen, looking over Abby, attributed the illness to bad food. You know, this is bad food. They got some mutton. They kept eating mutton for like every meal because they kept getting sick.
And they probably
kept eating it the next day too.
But they probably didn't have electricity, so they didn't have any way of keeping it cool, right?
I'm sure they did. They had a cellar or a basement. Yeah.
But still,
cure it.
It's not going to be that cold in a basement.
Right.
I mean, we're in my basement right now.
Also, it's August.
Cold.
And apparently, like, this is like, it was apparently gross and like super humid, sticky day too.
Okay. They got food poisoning.
Right.
Yeah. There's no way around it.
Plus, so yeah, the doctor's like, yeah, you just got bad food poisoning. And when he offered to examine the rest of the family, Andrew became upset, not wanting to pay any more money. So he told the doctor to leave.
Nice. Good job. But it seems like we got sick. It's over.
But they ate the food again the next day.
They get sick again?
Yeah. On the evening of August 3rd, John Morse, the younger brother of Sarah Morse Borden, arrived unannounced. This is the Lizzie and Emma's maternal uncle. Morse had recently reconnected with his nieces after a long absence. Morse was apparently there to discuss business matters with Andrew. Speculations arose about property transfer discussions exacerbating tensions. A lot of people speculate that they were having a fight over property and something that might be like owed to Abby's family.
So he probably promised Sarah's family land, maybe, or something, or
I would assume so, yeah. Or to take care of them too, maybe, since she died.
That guy, Sarah's brother,
John, yeah,
probably had a vendetta against, like, saying, "Hey, you're not gonna give us what we owed. You told us we were gonna. Maybe they're kicking him off. Like, we don't know."
And that you're exactly that's all been speculated. Like, why? So he would come by the house. It was only apparently in the past 2 years he started reconnecting with Lizzie and Emma. For some reason, a lot of people were speculating he came over that night, stayed because he wanted to discuss some kind of business matter with Andrew. It's been speculated again, even more so, like, was it like, hey, we're going to do this business endeavor together, or like it's a matter of you owe us something, or I'm owed something? So there might have been an argument. People were saying it might have happened. But either way,
I agree.
Either way, John spent the night.
Okay.
In the upstairs bedroom, second floor, because it's a 3-story house.
Is there murdering going on the next day?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
So anything changed?
salty.
Anything changed for you yet, as far as what do you think happened? Because we're going to go on the day of the murder.
I mean, other than, okay, here's another suspect.
Sure.
I still think I'm still leaning towards Abby.
What about the Irish immigrant servant? They didn't think too fondly of the Irish.
L. You really blame him?
So all right, this is the day of the murders, August 4th, 1892. Who all is in this house at this point? We got Andrew, the dad, who dies. Abby, the stepmother, dies. Maggie, who is the Irish, their servant.
Did she die?
She does not.
Okay.
Lizzie and her Uncle John. Emma, however, was out of town. She's 15 miles away in Fairhaven, Massachusetts.
And that's proven.
Proven, yeah. So Emma, not there.
Oh, okay. I thought she was there. All right.
That's the thing. So they said her and Emma left after a dispute and they came back sometime later. The timeline said like they both came back. And then Lizzie stayed in the hotel for another 4 days. Then came back to the house, and then the murders happened. But now it's not conflicting things. So either Emma never went away when Lizzie did, or she came back and then was like, "I'm leaving again." So everyone has their own timeline of events. They all kind of differ somewhat. So I'm not going to go through all of them, but if I found a website, one of the resources I used was called Lizzie Andrew Borden Virtual Museum and Library. It gives each person who's in this house their testimony of timeline of events, and they all differ a little bit, somewhat. It gets very confusing. So the following what I'm going to do is trying to be like more cohesive or probable understanding of what took place.
So we're going through a timeline of what happened.
Yeah, and like I said, that like each of these people who are in this house that don't die have varying timelines. They don't always line up.
Okay.
So this part made it kind of hard because I try to come up based on the sources I found with a more cohesive timeline of what's going on overall with everybody involved. Probably not that great, but here we go. Again, Andrew's in the house, Abby's in the house, Maggie, Lizzie, and John. Emma's out of town. The morning around 7 a.m., everyone comes down and eats breakfast. Everyone's still sick. They still eat this mutton for breakfast, apparently.
Could you imagine that? Because the bathroom's outside.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. At one point, the poor Maggie, because she doesn't. I'm assuming she doesn't eat with them. At one point I was reading her timeline. She's like, at one point I went outside to puke and had to come back in and keep cleaning the windows. I was like, this poor lady. But she's just like, they're still sick. Well, they're still eating the same food. Just keep preparing it in different ways.
This guy deserved to die. I changed my mind.
Around 7 a.m., everyone's downstairs eating breakfast, not including the servant or Emma, because servants can't eat with with the people, and Emma's out of town.
She's barfing outside. Yeah.
Around 7:45 a.m., everyone begins to go about their day. John and Andrew go to the sitting room to talk for about an hour. John leaves the Borden home at 8:48 a.m. to purchase goods and visit Emma in Fairhaven. Again, this is 15 miles away, I believe. But he plans on being back in time for lunch around noon.
This is John?
Yeah, the uncle.
He's hanging around a little too much. This is weird.
Yeah, like the fact especially they showed up unannounced. It's like, hey, I'm going to stay here.
Night. I mean, maybe that's what they
come
did
back for lunch.
Then.
Yeah, I wouldn't like that. I would like, you got to
tell
me. You got to tell me you're coming.
I don't like you coming over here once every other week.
Give me a time you're coming. I'm giving you a time when you're leaving. Then we're done.
Yeah, I don't like you coming over here. Get the hell out of here. You stayed. I'd be like,
we're doing
damn
a podcast together.
Yeah, the 2 hours you're here, I could blow my brains out. Anyway,
great. Andrew leaves for his usual morning walk around 9 a.m.
Usual meaning walk.
You just go. Walk. You just do that when you have money. I'm gonna go for a walk.
I mean, you do that now. You don't have to have money for that.
Yeah, but he's not going to work.
No.
People are going to work around this time.
What time is it?
9 a.m. And he actually comes back later to take a nap.
He's 70-some years old.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometime between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., Abby goes upstairs to clean the guest room where John was staying. This is a chore usually done by Emma and Lizzie, but Emma's out of town. Where was Lizzie?
Okay, so Emma, not there. Whose timeline is this?
I'm trying to do the most cohesive one.
Okay,
like,
this is a combination of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying. So between 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m., that's a big window. Abby goes upstairs to clean the guest room. This is on the second floor. This is the room that John stayed in. Emma's out of town. Lizzie, I don't know why. She just didn't do it. Lizzie was reportedly in the dining room ironing while Maggie was washing windows. During that time frame, while Abby's upstairs in the guest room, she's murdered. She's struck in the head around 18 times with a hatchet-like tool. Obviously, she dies. It is later believed that the first blow she received happened when she was facing her murderer. The other 17 were on the back of her head. So the police, again, when I say it's later believed, the police and the investigators, the way the first hit in her head landed, he was facing her murderer. Because when she fell, she's lay down, and the rest of the 17 whacks to her head were in the back of her head.
Here's what I'm thinking now. Emma is an alibi for John.
Oh, all right.
They were all in on it to get the money.
Maybe.
Because he came back in town to get money.
He was, Emma, John.
Oh, I'll take care of your dad for you.
They were all suspects at one point.
When they were in Bedford, they were meeting, talking. Yeah.
Or they might not have actually been in Bedford.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
yeah,
when they were meeting.
Bedford. Yeah.
Emma stayed somewhere for an alibi. Okay. I got this solved. See? You're welcome, America.
Boom.
You're welcome, Massachusetts.
Andrew returns home around 10:30 a.m. His key fails to open the front door.
What?
Odd.
It fails? What does that mean?
After he knocks, Maggie goes to let him in, but sees the door is jammed.
Okay. Someone jammed the door.
From the inside.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Maggie will later say she heard Lizzie laughing right after this instance where she couldn't get Andrew in the house. That she heard Lizzie laughing on the top of the stairs, although she didn't actually see her. This is true. That means Lizzie would have been upstairs around the time of Abby's murder. Now, there's contradicting stories, like I said earlier, with all this stuff going on in the timelines. Then by Lizzie herself, and later on, she keeps contradicting where she was when all this is going on, which makes her seem vicious. But at one point, Lizzie's downstairs and accompanied Andrew to the sitting room couch, where she helped remove his boots to nap.
Maggie helps him remove his boots?
Lizzie does.
Oh, Lizzie does.
But in the crime scene pictures, he still has his boots on.
Oh. She's guilty.
And interesting. At one point, when they're in the sitting room, Andrew apparently asked Lizzie where Abby was. Abby would have already been dead. Andrew's not dead yet. They're in this window. Lizzie says
she split.
When you bring up split. So Lizzie says, this is according to Lizzie, a letter, a messenger came by with a letter for Abby saying that a friend of Abby was sick and Abby had to go see her.
Lizzie said this?
Lizzie said this.
Said that Lizzie said this.
Lizzie did.
Oh, okay.
But apparently, there's no record of a sick friend of Abby's, or no letter was ever found.
Right. That was a lie.
Yep. Around 11:10 a.m., Maggie's on the third floor of the attic in her room, attempting to nap. She hears Lizzie yell, "Maggie, come quick. Father's dead. Somebody came in and killed him."
Wait, Maggie gets a nap?
Well, she'd been vomiting, cleaning.
Well, yeah, but she's a servant. She should be napping on the job. That's probably why they died. God.
Andrew was slumped down, lying on the couch. He had been struck in the face 10 to 11 times with a hatchet-like tool. One of his eyes was split in half. His face was unrecognizable.
Wait, so how do they know Abby died first?
Good question, Chris. At this point, it's either Maggie or a friend of Lizzie's, who Lizzie calls over, discovers Abby's body in the guest room. Lizzie claims that the door was closed. Maggie and Lizzie's friend, I can't remember who it was, then the door was open. That's how they were to see. Maggie's come downstairs. She sees into a room and sees Abby's dead.
How come she didn't see it when she went up?
Lizzie claims the door was closed.
Okay.
The police, so they call the police. Police determined that Abby died around 9:30. Her body was cold compared to Andrew's, who was still warm when they arrived. They determined his time of death was around 11 a.m.
Okay. Was he covered up? Maybe he was all warm and toasty when he got murdered.
No, he was not. Apparently, blood was still oozing out of him.
Okay.
Investigators saw no forced entry, no signs of robbery or any kind of sexual assault. No stranger was seen coming in or out of the house.
But John's not a stranger.
During the times of death, right. Nor was Lizzie. Nor was the servant. And the only door that could have been unlocked was the side door.
Wait, but the front door was jammed.
According to Maggie.
Okay.
During the time of Andrew's death, Lizzie claims she was in the barn. And when they're talking to her, they're like, she keeps changing. Originally she heard noises going on. Then she's like, I couldn't hear anything in the barn.
Do you think she just, I don't want to say she's overcome with sorrow or something, but do you think she's not in the right frame of mind because of the mutton or vice versa. Like, if you're that sick, no, I'm not saying that's what caused her to murder people. I'm saying, like, maybe that's the reason why she can't remember crap. Or maybe Maggie can't. Like, it just
Well,
seems like,
I'm glad you brought that up, Chris. You keep setting me up, man. I appreciate
yeah.
it. During police interviews with Lizzie, they noted how a calm and composed demeanor, which is odd considering her father and stepmother were just chopped up brutally.
Yeah.
A family doctor later said he'd given her morphine to calm her nerves, possibly making her act in such a manner.
Oh, before the police talked to her. Okay.
Police admitted later on that they only did a quick sweep of Lizzie's room because Lizzie was feeling unwell.
So they probably, it's one of those things was like,
Just like,
there's no way it was the girl.
Like, she's unwell.
She's a woman.
Let's leave her be. She couldn't possibly do this.
The woman, she had the vapors. She
But
couldn't.
they didn't
possibly
like go
carry
through the room
an
to like
axe.
trying to find any bloody weapon or bloody clothes. Like, she's unwell. Let's leave her be.
I mean, there had to be blood everywhere. It's like the
police were baffled by the lack of blood found throughout the house. Other than that, of course, on the victims. It's like the Jack the Ripper thing. And like,
I say,
once you see someone walking around blood on them,
like, she would have to have blood everywhere, just like Jack the Ripper. It had to be covered head. If
Yeah.
she whacked him 8 times,
it's the middle of the
18 times,
day. It's the middle of the day. One of Lizzie's neighbors, right after it happened, Lizzie was talking to her neighbor like, "Hey, my dad or someone was murdered." The neighbor apparently didn't see any blood on Lizzie whatsoever.
So that's
she could have changed.
But
Definitely
hold
could've
on.
changed.
But she'd have to take a shower. Like, her hair would have been, and there's no plumbing.
Right, with that much like
That much blood.
brutality done. You're not just whacking someone once. She whacked her dad her stepmom 18 times, her dad 10 to 11 times.
And so she yelled for Maggie. There's no way she got changed. If he's still blood oozing and warm, she got changed, washed herself up, then called Maggie down. It had to be John, Uncle John.
Oh, all right.
Because he ran out the back door. She locked it. It was all cahoots.
All cahoots.
Yeah.
So yeah, they were just like, there's no blood. We can't find any blood anywhere. But they did find a bucket of bloody rags in the cellar washroom and a speck of blood. One of Lizzie's undergarments or her unmentionables or her, what do you call them?
Taco bombs. Well, doesn't mean that it's their blood.
Lizzie's response to this when questioned was like, I was menstruating. So the cops were just like, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to talk about
That
that.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Well,
Or she knew that they would not keep asking questions.
I mean, that would be an obvious.
Because back then they were like, I don't want to hear about that. Yeah, that's your own personal matter. It's disgusting.
But that might be, that's what all it is.
It could be what it is, or she knew that like she did it and she knew that they would, if she said that, they would just leave it alone.
There still had to be way more blood than that. There had to be so much more blood than that. Like, wherever she got washed up had been covered in blood. She would have had to have a day just to clean that up.
Yeah.
With that much blood?
You think, man? Yeah.
It would have been like dripping down her. Like, she would have been, it would have been like going into her mouth. Like, when Maggie came down, she'd have been like, why are you a blood monster?
In the basement, 2 hatchets, 2 axes, and a broken hatchet head are found.
Okay.
Broken hatchet head. So it was a hatchet head, but its handle was broken and
Was ripped off. Yeah.
not there.
Yeah, but that's pretty common. I have those in my barn.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, you just put a new one in.
This one hatchet was suspected to be the murder weapon.
Was it covered in blood?
The broken handle appeared to have fresh dust and ash on the hatchet head, suggesting deliberate tampering to make it seem that it's been unused for a long time. The picture's like, that's odd. Like, why? There's just like, clearly, like, to them, this hatchet head looked like it was placed there and like the scene was messed with to make it look as if it had been old.
But how did they clean? Again, it would have had to be so bloody.
The axes and hatchets were not removed from the house for further analysis that day.
Like, the handles would have been had absorbed so much blood that would have been soggy.
But the handle, it was missing its handle.
The handle was completely gone?
Part of it was. They don't know where it is. But they didn't remove any of the hatchets or axes that day.
I don't know. Uncle John did this.
Police discovered that the day before the murders, Lizzie tried to buy prussic acid or prussic, which is essentially cyanide.
Prussic acid? What?
It's cyanide from a pharmacy.
What would they use that for?
What would Lizzie want that for?
Yeah. What was the explanation? Did she give one?
She claimed it was to clean her furs, despite being told by the farmers that's not what it does.
What would she do with that acid, though? Could it clean up blood?
To kill her family.
Cyanide. Oh, the food. But
maybe.
She was sick too, wasn't she?
Apparently. But this thing, the doctor never saw her. Remember the dad was like, get out after Abby?
Yeah.
Apparently, I think that's what happened.
Okay, so cyanide would have been used. She was going to poison them.
Remember, like, even Abby was like, I think we've been poisoned. Not food poisoned, but someone's trying to poison us.
With the food, but
kill us. Her husband, Andrew, was not, some people didn't like him.
Well, okay, but she's going to get cyanide. Where did she get the first batch?
Oh.
A little tricky there. I don't know about that.
So this, along with the fact that the family had been suffering from mysterious illness before the murders, led the police to conduct an investigation into possible poisoning. Milk from the household and the victim's stomach contents, removed during autopsies, were tested for poison. No traces of poison were found. On the night that the murders took place, Emmett and Lizzie's friend, Alice Russell, decided to stay with Lizzie. A police officer who was stationed at the house witnessed Lizzie and Alice carrying a kerosene lamp and a slop pail entering the cellar. Both would reappear, then Lizzie would go back down alone. The officer said he saw Lizzie standing over a sink.
They didn't have running water. Or was it the water in the pail? Okay.
He sees Alice, Lizzie's friend, and Lizzie go down into the cellar. The slop bucket.
Yeah, but is it what they usually do?
Lamp.
That's what they do at night. Like we gotta slop stuff up. We gotta wash our clothes.
What were they slopping up in the middle of the night, though?
In the middle of the night?
Yeah, in the middle of the night. The axes are still down there.
Maybe they're cleaning the house because everything got blood on it.
There was no blood anywhere, though. Remember?
Well, you said there had to be blood in the upstairs.
Well, yeah. I mean, where the parents were
but
murdered.
maybe they were cleaning some stuff. Like maybe that. I don't know about that one.
I don't think they would let him clean that. And then the police officer saw Lizzie standing over a sink at some point.
How would he see that?
He's on patrol. There's like 24-hour patrol going
around the house, so he could see like into the basement.
I think apparently
She could be cleaning anything. She could be cleaning her undergarments. Her don't talk about them.
Maybe. So the next day, they finally seized the hatchet. On August 6th, Alice witnessed Lizzie tearing up a dress. Lizzie said she was planning on putting it in the fire because it's covered in paint.
Oh, I see where you're going with that one. She was trying to clean up the clothes she had on. But again,
the police never took any of her clothes. Remember, the police were just like, they did it like super swift. Like, hey, everything's, she's sick. We're not going to bother her.
Her hair had to have been covered in blood. Her entire face
you think, man? Yeah.
would have been stained red.
Right. And I think that's why some people were just like, she couldn't have done it. Not because she's a woman or anything like that, but
no,
like, I think
she
people were like,
wasn't covered in blood.
Could have been evidence, but here's the thing: the police were just like that first night, or the first day it happened. They were so negligent when it came to like looking for stuff like that because they said she was.
Did they not look in her
sick?
face and say, "Oh, ma'am, you look stained red today"?
But this also goes back to the fact that she's a woman from her pedigree, upper class, wealthy.
They're always bloody faced. They put blood on there to make them smoother.
No, I'm just saying like they didn't want to push it because apparently a lot of these police were Irish immigrants themselves, so they were like, maybe we gotta like maybe tiptoe around this a little bit.
No, she would have been her hair would have been so bloody.
That's what I thought. Yeah, right.
Life would have been bloody.
I don't know, like the fact they just like this quick sweep.
A quick sweep.
There could have been clues all over her room.
Well, yeah,
like
but
this dress that apparently was covered in paint.
Her room, right? But she's still like, I still think her face,
yeah, right.
Unless she was wearing like the dress as a hat, there's no way. You know, like she had
something.
There had to be so much blood.
Yeah.
18 whacks on Abby.
Yep.
Her dad got how many whacks?
10 or 11.
Okay, that's so many. That's so much blood.
Yeah.
Like blood
dad's face was
splattering everywhere.
Yeah.
Dripping.
So eventually they were like, okay, we're taking Lizzie in. I think it was the mayor was like, she's probably guilty. They did some kind of, it wasn't like a trial just yet, but they did a inquiry. And they're like, yeah, she's probably guilty. So they sent it over to like a higher court. He was eventually arrested on August 11th. Her trial didn't go on to, I think, until June of the next year.
Did her sister get all the money and stuff?
No.
Who got it?
They both did. So I'm not going to go too much on the trial, but Lizzie was seen as innocent by many in the public because she was upper class, native, and a do-gooder. She was very active in the community and church.
Native? As in?
Like not Irish born.
Is she English?
Born in America.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's... Okay.
She's not off the boat. But I think that one of the biggest things is that she's a woman. According to some, and like even her defense lawyer said this in the papers, A woman would not do such a heinous thing. She'd have been too delicate and have the strength to do it. So the defense leaned into that, while the prosecution leaned into the fact that Lizzie had a strong dislike for Abby. It was done out of fear that she might not get her father's inheritance.
Right. That's exactly what it was.
So
I don't think she did it.
You don't think she did it?
I think John did it.
Her family, whether they believed it or not, like these people that rest of the Borden family, whether they think she did it or not, they threw a bunch of money into this to get her the best defense.
Right. Clear her name.
Yeah. So it could be, not necessarily they believed her that she didn't do it, that she was innocent, but we got a name to.
We don't want a Borden to be dragged to the mud.
Yeah. And then the prosecution was like, it's been rumored to say that they did not like her stepmother.
Right. Doesn't mean that she did it.
Right.
But I think John did it.
It wasn't on June 20th, 1893, almost a year later. After just 90 minutes of deliberation, Lizzie was acquitted of all charges due to lack of forensic evidence linked her to the scene. There was no murder weapon. There's no bloody clothes.
It's because John was bloody.
Maybe, man. Yeah.
Where'd he go? Did you ever follow up with him? Anybody ever follow up with that guy?
Yeah, he had an alibi.
He was
out of town. And then he was seen.
He came strolling back in what the heck?
Whoa!
Wowzer!
Lunchtime. Oh, yeah. Everyone's dead.
He had an alibi because they set that up. It's perfect.
Yeah, right.
Perfect alibi.
But it is important to know that the jury were all men, because women could not be jurors back then. It's interesting to think about what would have happened if there were some women on that case.
Why?
Jurors. Just because to see what they would have thought.
I mean, you'd hope that they wouldn't think they'd be it's like that thing where all women hate other women, is that type of stereotype. So they're I
don't know.
Throw her in jail. She did it.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it's all
90 minutes, 2 minutes. She is guilty, and they're see ya.
She lived better than we did. No, I'm not saying anything catty. I'm just saying it's just interesting because women couldn't be on juries back then.
Not 1892. They couldn't be on juries.
Apparently, what I saw, they couldn't in Massachusetts. Women could be on juries until 1951.
Whoa,
yeah.
That's yowza. That's not good, Massachusetts.
So some people were she's this, people within the church are she could not do this. She does all this fine community work, all that stuff, and
the character witnesses type of thing. Yeah.
So Andrew's estate was worth $300,000 back then, which is worth around $400 million today.
$400 million.
Or $4 million.
$4 million.
300,000 back then, $4 million today.
I probably chopped someone up from $4 million.
Lizzie and Emma got a big chunk of it. Some of it went to Abby's family. They were finally able to buy their dream house on the hill.
Oh,
just like Lizzie always wanted.
Shut up. Is that how it ends?
Lizzie,
As that credits?
Here's the thing. Unfortunately, Lizzie never quite fit on the hill. Never fit in. She kind of became ostracized from her church, constantly hounded by people or shunned altogether. And eventually, children came up with a nursery rhyme.
She axe murdered them too.
Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks. And when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Both sisters died in 1927, a couple days apart.
Okay.
So what do you think? I know you're leaning towards the uncle.
I think Uncle did it.
John boy.
I think Uncle did it. I don't think it's not that she couldn't do it. I think she didn't do it because it was a finely set up plan. He killed it. He killed him, left to go visit Emma. He went to visit Emma, right? He came back around, went back into the back door, waited for that whole thing, killed Abby, killed Andrew, then walked, and then, she had blood on her because she was oh crap, go, 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 go. She was cleaning up or whatever, or trying to help in some way. But I don't know about the laughing. That seems more of insanity. Or if that was true, Maggie actually heard her laughing. That's more of okay.
Yeah. Crazy.
But maybe she was playing a prank on her dad or something. Yeah. And that's all that was. She didn't even know mom was dead. Or she did know mom was because John killed her.
Right. Lizzie, I forget what it was, but Lizzie's I didn't laugh. I forget what she said. I was I wasn't even there. But again, her whole thing was she kept changing her alibis of where she was when all this was going on. So that kind of made her suspicious. But again, there's no murder weapon and there's no blood found other than on her undergarments.
I would love to know if she was I would have loved to see her face at that point, right after it happened, whenever There's no way she had not been covered in blood if she did it.
Right.
But John Boy, he runs out the back door, covered in blood, jumps in a pond or something.
Yeah.
Keeps walking, strolls back, changes his clothes down the street. And
But like one of the timelines, even Maggie, the servant, said like he left. He left and I didn't see him again.
yeah, because he came in the back door. She went up to take a nap,
Yeah.
right? What do you think? Wait, are you going to theories or is that?
No, I mean like that. I mean, we've already kind of talked about most of them because like it couldn't have been Emma because it could have been, but like she was out of town. The alibis, people saw her.
Okay, of course, she was out of town to get alibis.
They saw John.
John, they see John with Emma?
No, I don't think so. At one point, Lizzie was like, "Hey, there's this weird wonky-eyed. I forget what her term was. I saw a wonky-eyed man outside last night before the murder, before the night before the murders happened."
Right. Could it have been a random act, you think?
That's what I think she was pushing towards. She's like, I saw some mysterious guy whose eyes kind of crazy, wonky eyes.
Wonky eyes. I don't know if I like that.
There's all speculation that might have been Andrew's illegitimate son who came in and did this. But so a day or two after the murders happened, they arrested a Portuguese immigrant.
Typical Portuguese guys. Murder and axe with axes.
Apparently came to the house because he was owed money by Andrew for work, and Andrew was like, I don't have your money right now, go away. And so they're like, oh, the Portuguese guys. Of course the Portuguese guys did it.
Yeah.
This immigrant did it.
Okay. So wait, what do you think?
I think it definitely points towards Lizzie. But I do think her friends, like that night when she's just like, I'm gonna go downstairs in the middle of the night with this kerosene and this mop bucket, and why do that in the middle of the night? Maybe you can't sleep. Like you said, maybe they're just cleaning up the house.
What time are we talking about middle of the night? What time are we talking?
I don't know.
Middle of the night.
But why wouldn't Maggie, the servant, been doing stuff like that, cleaning up?
Just puking her brains out upstairs.
Not to this point, no. I think there's too many things. Are just like there's too many conveniences.
Why would Maggie be doing her laundry for her, or was that something that the girls did by themselves?
No, they did. I don't think they definitely did. I think they definitely did not do the laundry by themselves.
But
I don't know. I mean, there's no evidence of that. But
they had to clean up that room.
Yeah.
I mean, did that like
that doesn't mean like doing laundry? It just means like go make the bed. That's all. That means.
but it seems like it paints a picture that Andrew made them do their own stuff. So maybe he made them.
I mean, that's the only instance I saw of them having to go do stuff like that.
So what do you think?
I think she did it, but I think her friends and family helped her cover it up.
Okay,
for sure.
That makes sense. What do you think her reason was?
I think it was too easy for people to be like, "Oh, she's a woman; she can't do it. She's this woman of good standing from good pedigree. She's a white woman, a do-gooder in the neighborhood. There's no way someone could do something like that."
What do you think her reasoning was?
I did see that one of the things was that she might not have been, like, I don't know what the right word would be, like not a trance, but like in that moment when it happened, you might not have been in the right frame of mind.
Yeah, because she was sick from being poisoned by mutton.
But no one
else
sweats. Yeah, but no one else killed anyone. They all got sick.
They didn't get a chance to. They were probably all gunning for each other.
They all went out about and did their business that day. So I don't know. But really, why would she kill her dad? I can understand why she killed
it had to be about Abby
her evil stepmom, but like, why would she go then kill her dad because he took a nap?
Do you think
that seems weird to me that she would do that to her own?
Well,
dad.
do you think it's one of those things where like he's going to give away money? He's going to give away our money, our inheritance. We have to get rid of him too. Because he's already starting to slip. Like John came by, tried to get some cash.
That's only speculative. It's not necessarily that like people speculated.
There's no record he was there.
No, he was there, but like,
well, I'm saying like
it's been argued about what they actually talked about.
It could have been a thing where like they're getting older, they're worrying about their if Abby dies after, or if he dies first, why would she kill her dad? I don't know.
They're not necessarily. I mean, they're working, but I don't think they're like Lizzie's definitely doing stuff around town, but I don't know if she's getting paid for it.
Right, she doesn't have to.
But also, they're not married. I don't think they have income or anyone other than their dad supporting them. So why would they kill their dad?
Because then they get it all. They get everything.
They wouldn't get it all though. They would have to know that they wouldn't get it all if the stepmom's dead.
Why wouldn't they get it all?
Well, someone would have to go to the stepmom's family because if the If the dad dies before the stepmom dies, the stepmom gets all the money.
Right, but then if stepmom's dead and dad's dead, it goes to the next of kin, which is them.
But why not just kill a stepmom and they still get a chunk of the money?
And then you were saying like kill because what if another stepmom comes along? Kill that one too, and that'd look more.
You gotta kill another one.
No, I think it's just like crime of passion. Like they're like, all right, he's getting old, get rid of him. Like people do weird stuff for money.
Oh yeah. I'm not. Yeah.
I mean, maybe they didn't like their dad. Seems to be a penny pincher. Like they were living in a house without toilets.
It was a point of contention between the dad and Lizzie.
Right. Maybe it was just like, I don't like my dad.
Yeah.
I'll murder him too.
Apparently during the trial, Emma was like, no, we never said we didn't like our stepmother. But again, she could be,
right.
full of crap.
She's making this up.
I think Lizzie did it, and people helped her.
You think Emma was in on it?
No, but I think she definitely covered for her.
You think Emma planted it in her head, like, they're going to give away her money. That's what they were doing. They were conspiring. And then so she kind of went over the edge and did it. Like, we talked about it, but I'm the one actually the balls to do it.
Maybe.
What about John? Where's John's role in all this? Do you think he would point in it?
I think it's definitely possible. Yeah.
Do you think he got all the factories and stuff, or they got everything?
No, I think they got everything. Abby's family got a little cut of it. I think. Well, maybe John's family did get something. I assume maybe kind of compensation.
Okay. Well,
maybe he was like he reconnected with his nieces 2 years before this happened. Maybe like
and they were conspiring ever since. And he was like following up on what he could do.
Yeah, maybe.
He's probably like, hey, you better
kill your stepmom.
You better
give me a cut.
Get her out of here. Do you think they poisoned them, or do you think it was just like a coincidence?
I think it's a coincidence. Yeah. It also was the fact that this pharmacist was like, yeah, she came in and asked for this poison. That's apparently not ever been fully proven.
Yeah, like that seems too convenient.
Like they were saying like maybe you got misidentified who that person was.
Yeah,
just because of what's going on in the national media at this point.
Yeah, because.
But this whole thing was like this case and the trial was like the trial of the century at the time, like kind of like our modern day OJ case. Like it was huge. The way do you think she did it and just how people help conspire to do it?
I don't think she actually did it. I think she had someone else do it because she wasn't covered in blood. There's too much blood.
I
think Emma and John were involved with it. I don't know if they did it.
But why would she take part knowing that she'd be like the scapegoat for it?
She probably didn't know.
But she knew she'd be. Oh.
She probably thought she could get away with it. Like she probably didn't think it would go the way it did. She probably like because she obviously she told a lie to Maggie. She thought that people would believe that lie.
Yeah.
So if she thought that she was going to want to go down for it, she wouldn't have said that. I
think it's creepy that Maggie was just like, I heard her laughing upstairs. I was like,
yeah, she probably was. That's probably from she puking so much and having anything in her left in her.
It's finally over. It's finally over.
Her brain being like, you're gonna die if you keep eating this
mutton.
You're so
unhydrated.
Yeah, I don't like mutton. I don't like the name of like mutton. What is mutton? Is that beef?
No, it's lamb, sheep, right?
I don't know, Barf City. I don't know. That's you talking about mutton chops.
Yeah, it's like it's good, but I think it smells like kind of really chewy though.
Yeah, I'm good. Give me a raw potato and I'll tell them be good.
I'll rather take a nice starchy raw potato.
Yeah. I don't want no lamb.
I think it's lamb.
Keep her lamb. Keep her mutton. Give me a potato. Save a mutton, ride a potato. That's what I say.
Potatoes are good.
I eat them raw. They're delicious.
I remember we worked together one time. We came to like shift meeting, just eating a raw potato.
They're good. They're like an apple. Why does everything that's weird? It's so good.
Just a raw potato. Not baked or anything.
It's delicious. It's crunchy.
I think I could be wrong. I don't know why I think this in French. But the term for apple in French is pretty close to the term for potato in French.
Because they're a hand fruit. You can't.
It could be wrong.
I mean, think of all the hand fruits. They're all
hand fruits is not a fruit though.
I'm saying, like, think of pears and apples and
either skin, all the skin on. Yeah.
The potato fits all of those.
Did you at least wash the potato?
Well, sometimes you gotta leave the dirt on it because that's where the spices is.
Ah, what?
But you don't. But you listen.
The spices.
Yes. Gives a little grain, like a little
You
grit.
get sick from that, can't you?
No. A little grit.
No, you're fine.
For your cake eaters over here.
For your snowflakes.
Yeah. No.
Cake eaters.
You saw Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
No, the thing you can eat is a little like whenever the little roots are coming out.
Yeah.
You gotta cut those. Are poisonous.
Wow. All right.
They give you belly aches. I used to walk to class in college eating a potato when we lived up at that one house in grad school. It was so good. They're delicious.
If I didn't know you and I just saw you around me walking down the street eating a raw potato, I'm like, that guy's crazy. If I'm on the same side of the street, I will walk across the other side of the street and just be like, I'm staying away from this dude.
Like,
dude gets nuts.
Yeah. No, they're good. The only problem will be whenever I pull another one on my backpack and go to town on another. No, like sometimes I'll eat like probably was actually looked crazy was I would use a knife sometimes and cut them and I was like walking. But I don't and I don't eat the red ones. I eat the brown ones. The brown ones.
We're better because they're tinier, bite size.
No, they taste worse.
Do they?
I don't know. I like the brown ones better. They're always like the big honking boys.
Yeah. I saw you.
I can't even pretend. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Try it. It's good.
I'm good.
Starchy.
Thank you, though.
I don't. People think I'm weird. It's good.
I think there's a lot of evidence to say that you are weird. Yes, not in a bad way. Everyone's weird. Everyone has their thing. All right.
Well, everybody at home, go buy a potato. Just everybody do some homework for me. Try a raw, just one bite.
Rinse it off first.
Yeah, if you want to be it's fine. Be a baby about it. Don't kill people. Eat raw potatoes.
It's a bumper sticker.
We'll sell that. I think. Potatoes. It could save the planet.
Like guns kill people, not raw potatoes. It's a bumper sticker.
Axes kill people, not raw potatoes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody out there. Jordan, thank you for bringing this with me.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
To me, with me.
And thank you all for listening. If you actually stuck around and listened.
Yeah. Thanks for not turning us off. Maybe if you got to this point. In any case, if you did get to this point, you are listening to us. You can watch us on YouTube at Mysterious Pals. You can listen to us if you're watching us on every podcast platform pretty much out there. If you want to connect with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. I think we're on TikTok. And you can also email us at mysteriouspaulsonline@gmail.com. You can find links to all that and links to our email as well as our website at mysteriouspals.com. That will give you a link to everything and a whole bunch of information. If you want to send us an email, have a question, have a kind of something to, what's it?
Complain about?
Want to criticize us? I was saying more if you have a show that we could do.
Oh, yeah, an idea?
Suggestion.
Sure.
I had my potato today. I'm kind of...
You got potato hands?
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
You got the potato sweats.
Just place a potato right in there.
Yeah. My potato claw.
Axes kill people, not potatoes.
Any case, thank you everybody out there.
That guy's crazy.
Please, please,
if I'm going to say...
Give us a follow, give us a like, give us whatever you can, subscribe. Give us you're tired and you're hungry. We will be back next week with another show. Thank you, Jordan, again.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, everybody out there.
Thanks, everybody out there.
Tune in next week for another
show.
Same mysterious time, same mysterious place, same mysterious pals. Same mysterious, and good night.
Good night. Do they?
I don't know. I like the brown ones better. They're always like the big honking boys.
Yeah. I saw you.
I can't even pretend. Yeah, it's good. It's good. Try it. It's good.
I'm good.
Starchy.
Thank you, though.
I don't. People think I'm weird. It's good.
I think there's a lot of evidence to say that you are weird. Yes, not in a bad way. Everyone's weird. Everyone has their thing. All right.
Well, everybody at home, go buy a potato. Just everybody do some homework for me. Try a raw, just one bite.
Rinse it off first.
Yeah, if you want to be it's fine. Be a baby about it. Don't kill people. Eat raw potatoes.
It's a bumper sticker.
We'll sell that. I think. Potatoes. It could save the planet.
Like guns kill people, not raw potatoes. It's a bumper sticker.
Axes kill people, not raw potatoes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, everybody out there. Jordan, thank you for bringing this with me.
Hey, thanks, Chris.
To me, with me.
And thank you all for listening. If you actually stuck around and listened.
Yeah. Thanks for not turning us off. Maybe if you got to this point. In any case, if you did get to this point, you are listening to us. You can watch us on YouTube at Mysterious Pals. You can listen to us if you're watching us on every podcast platform pretty much out there. If you want to connect with us, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram. I think we're on TikTok. And you can also email us at mysteriousPalsOnline@gmail.com. You can find links to all that and links to our email as well as our website at mysteriouspals.com. That will give you a link to everything and a whole bunch of information. If you want to send us an email, have a question, have a kind of something to, what's it?
Complain about?
Complain about? Want to criticize us? I was saying more if you have a show that we could do.
Oh, yeah, an idea?
Suggestion.
Sure.
I have my potato today. I'm kind of...
You got potato hands?
Yeah.
They're ready to go.
You got the potato sweats.
Just place a potato right in there.
Yeah. My potato claw.
Axes kill people, not potatoes.
In any case, thank you everybody out there. Please, please, please give us a follow, give us a like, give us whatever you can, subscribe. Give us you're tired and you're hungry. We will be back next week with another show. Thank you, Jordan, again.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you, everybody out there.
Thanks, everybody out there.
Tune in next week for another
show.
Same mysterious time, same mysterious place, same mysterious pals. Same mysterious. Good night.